Hey everyone, this is Carson, also known online as Emberwick, and today I'm going to be going over how I use the dungeon generator in my fantasy tabletop role-playing game, Tales from Myriad. Now, before we begin, yes, I am aware that the giant Tales from Myriad logo is covering up most of the chart. That is because I spent a very long time working on this, and I would very much appreciate if you went and checked it out. It's free for now, the demo, at the Kickstarter that you can find in the description or comments below, because at the moment of making this, YouTube will not let me add clickable links. I would really appreciate if you went and supported that, and without further ado, I'll go ahead and jump into it. There's a little bit more written in this chapter about how the philosophies and the mindsets I use when making a dungeon. The first thing that we're going to get away with is we're not going to design this using any sort of grid. I think that grids are the killer of creativity. What we're going to do is we're going to come up with a good idea first, and then we're going to put a grid around it. We can structure a grid around it later, because the fun comes first and making this goes first. So first things is I'm going to need some dice to roll with. I'm going to get a d6 and a d4 because that's what's going to be used here. Might as well grab two. d4. Fantastic. And I will be drawing out this little dungeon as we go. Alrighty, so the first thing that you do, as it says on the thing, is that you got to choose a theme for the dungeon. Flavor each role to fit this. Probably already know this. I don't, and I'm going to come up with it right now. We're going to say it is going to be moon themed. I like that. I like the moon. Alright, when you roll something that isn't a door, pathway, or room, you can cross it off the list and ignore it if it's used again. That's fair. Use encounters, ambushes, and traps sparingly. Puzzles are tricky because players may blow right through them or take forever. Timers help on the latter. There is a section in the book about how to design puzzles, but that's not what this is about right now. Use verticality and looping pathways. Avoid linearity to explore or to encourage exploration. That's great. The deeper they go, the better the loot. Make this clear. Dungeons are not well lit unless there is a given reason. Make your players afraid of the dark. Foreshadow events. Players will not take the risk if they aren't mildly sure what might be waiting for them. Mention things like claw marks, blood, soot, slime, and etc. on a pathway or door, so it can help you slowly work out on your own head, or in your own head, what might be lurking if you haven't planned it. And it encourages players to take the risk. Now, a dungeon is simply a place. It is a problem-solving box that you put the players into. It is not necessarily a dark and dingy dungeon, but darkness is always fun. Repeating and connecting rooms is a completely viable method of expansion. For simplicity, you can have a connecting room be the same room type as the one before it. We'll get to that later. Do not expect to complete a dungeon in one session, blah, blah, blah. Great. So we've got multiple ways of entering the dungeon. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to start rolling. So the first thing you can see on the top of the chart, doors leading to a 1 to 3 pathway or a 4 to 6 room. We'll start with a door. What that means is that you would roll a d6 for that. So our first thing, so we have a door. I've rolled what kind of door? I rolled a 4. So the first door that we have here is trapped. That's fantastic. So I've got a trap door as the first part. What kind of trap? Well, we can roll into traps. And obvious traps are free puzzles, remember that. But for now, I've rolled a 3, a wall trap. So it's some sort of a moon thing. So let's say that they've had to enter in this area through some sort of tunnel. Maybe it's like an ice cave. It's set in Polaris, so there's lots of like lunar stuff going on. So a wall trap, maybe you've got the classic swinging wall trap. So we can say here that there's a swinging wall trap right in front of the door the second that they turn the thing that like swings down and tries to slice at their party members. So I'll go here, wall trap on this trap door. All right, so a door leads to a 1 to 3 pathway or 4 to 6 room. I have rolled a 6, that means it's a room. I'll roll for the type of room. 1, a kitchen or food place, and inside of the room, I've rolled a 4, which is an encounter. So the first thing in this moon place is some sort of a food kitchen area. So maybe it's a cult, maybe they're studying the moon, and they're not about food per se. We'll say it's circular. I like that. Maybe, oh, this will be fun. Maybe inside of this room, it is a spiral staircase down, and you can see in here, kind of like the butchers. What are they called? The meat freezers. So you have these frozen corpses dangling down from the thing, because this is our food room. So these people are preserving all of these icy people, and some sort of a cauldron down at the bottom. Boy, talking. So down at the bottom of the spiral staircase, you've got an encounter. I can roll for the type of encounter here. Say D6 as well. I've rolled a 2, 4 small creatures. Maybe these are small, I don't know, moon mites. I like that. Little moon parasites. They come down in beams of moonlight. They can be summoned and they can kind of help foster. Maybe they're like a little bit eldritchy. I like that. So these food mites, these moon mites, are sitting around. Maybe they are food mites. Maybe they are food mites. Maybe they're crawling all over these frozen corpses. Maybe they're like little ice slugs. I like that. So that's what's inside that room. So that is a room, leads to 1 to 2 door, 3 to 4 pathway, 5 to 6 another room. I'll roll for that. 5 to 6, it's another room. What kind of room? 5, it's a study. What's in the room is a hallway or a door. So going through here enters a study. Now, a study doesn't have to be an individual study. I like to believe that, in fact, it is a large chamber. Boy, this is a drawing. We've got ourselves a large chamber, and it has all these, I like, moon, so something something knowledge, something something mystery. I like that. So it's got a lot of books, a lot of staircases, maybe, that lead to other bookshelves. This is just how I'm planning it out. So lots of crossing book locations. Maybe some moving staircases. That's always fun. Large stained glass windows everywhere. So I'll put this here. This is the study. Maybe they are studying the moon. So maybe, in fact, at the top there is a large centerpiece that has a giant telescope sticking out of it. Because why not? That's cool. Study the moon, right? You can do that. And so maybe it's more of a puzzle. You got a little puzzle room here. Got some switches that can move them around. You can plan this later. So I'll say switches. Switches. Move. Book. Cases. And maybe if they move it to the wrong one, then there's something there. Maybe if they move it to the right one, there's something there. However, you can try to get to the giant telescope. Telescope. Yay! And it said in here that there was a hallway or door, so I'll just go ahead and roll that. Have anything for hallways? Nah. Door. There's a hidden door in here. Ooh, and we already said that there was a bunch of books. You know what that means. There's a secret book passageway. Hooray! Hidden book passageway. Awesome. So that will lead us to a pathway. Where are pathways? Oh, there it is. What's in our pathway? 3. The pathway just leads straight into another room. The type of room is a 5. We already had another study. We'll just roll it again. Already had a kitchen food place. 4. A meeting room. That's great. This is where we can really get into the meat and potatoes. So we've got some sort of a meeting place. A Moonlight Sanctum, maybe. So you've got like a circular table, you've got the moonlight coming in from above, because of course it's at night, it's a moon-themed dungeon. These beautiful stone chairs, maybe you've got some plans laid out here so that you can foreshadow like, oh man, these people want to do something somewhere, that's crazy. All right, inside of the meeting room is 4, says it's an encounter, of course it's an encounter. 4, 2 medium creatures. You probably have 2 of these moon cultists in here. So we've got the meeting room with 2 moon cultists. I mean, obviously, you're going around pulling levers, getting into their secret nonsense. Good time to loot them if you manage to defeat them. However, they may run away and, start alerting the others. That's up to you how you want to plan that out. So, got that. A room leads to a 6, leads to right into another room. 3, the ritual room. Of course it's the ritual room. So right there, through this meeting room, goes right into the cool ritual room. And now, in fact, you have 3 rooms here, which means that each room will probably take an hour because that's how dungeons work. So if you were doing a 4-hour session plus all these combats, this would be a good time to end it if you wanted to do a one-shot. You could have, of course, the moon ritual room. Maybe throughout the library you can hear chanting. Maybe you can find books that are like, oh, here's how to start and stop the ritual. Might as well. So let's say, for example, we're just going to end it here. This is going to be the cool ritual room. So I can roll up, make this the boss room. As you can see down there. Boss room 2, illusory or otherwise changing. Awesome, that's perfect. The boss type, teleporting, of course. So what you're going to have here, you're going to have more of these winding bookcases, except there are going to be mirrors in the room, and the moonlight will reveal the true places. So there will be a bunch of shifting stuff, and you will have our fella up here who is going to be teleporting around, casting spells as they are chanting and singing this sort of moon song in order to do their stuff. So we've got here, boss room, moonlight reveals true staircases. So you will need to shift these in order to find the right one. And this guy, I'm going to say boss changes what is real and teleports. So after you maybe get a good few hits on him, you're going to have to run in there and start changing up the mirrors again to try to find it. And maybe he'll summon some more of those moon mites and whatnot. And this is pretty much it. So we're going to be illusory, staircase, boss. All right. So with all that, that's pretty much how I used the dungeon. As you can see, I mapped out a fun idea for a dungeon pretty dang quickly. And I would not, you can use this just off the cuff. You're running a one shot, you need something, go to this. However, this provides a really nice framework for how you may want to design a dungeon. It will give you lots of ideas and, prompt that kind of stuff. It will not tell you what exactly will be inside of it, because not every suggestion will apply to your party or to the setting that you're in. So hopefully that you found this dungeon generator useful, and hopefully you found my explanation of how I like to use it useful as well. So with that, please go check out the Kickstarter. We are funded, but all of the money just goes right back into the book. I can make more art, better art, get some minis in there, have a blast. Hopefully I can get the physical book up in stores, and thank you so much for supporting me. Bye.